On today's episode of Homeworthy, we're going inside interior designer Ashley Cathey's beautiful Texas home.
So this is my favorite room. This is my lair. I have 4 kids and a husband. They are not allowed in this room. This is my room. Me and my dogs, Teddy and Tessa, they're allowed. They're just not allowed on the furniture, but that doesn't mean anything.
It's beyond chic, yet incredibly comfortable for her family of 6. Well, 8 if you count the dogs.
So now we're in the lounge, which sounds so pompous, but we don't know what else to call it. So this room was an addition to our house that we've recently finished, because originally I didn't want a dining room, because a dining room is where Amazon boxes went to die in our old house. But then once we didn't have a dining room, we wanted a dining room. So I created this long banquette with 2 little tables for everyday life. But when we have big family dinners, these go into the garage and I pull out a really long table and we set up a long dining table.
She loves color and texture and doesn't shy away from feminine patterns, even when it comes to her bedroom.
This is my bedroom that I share with my husband. I feel sort of sorry for him because he has to sleep in what I call like a doily of femininity, but he doesn't mind. I have my princess bed, which I love.
So enjoy. You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story. Like and subscribe for more.
Hi, Homeworthy. I'm Ashley. Welcome to the jungle. I mean, my Dallas home. So this is Teddy. Teddy, can you say hi? And this is Tessa. Tessa, come say hi. They're brother and sister. My children named them. Kind of sounds like a pair of strippers, but we love them. Hi, my name is Ashley Cathey. Welcome to my Greenway Parks home. We built this home in 2017. I have a large family with 4 children and 2 dogs. My husband and I needed more space for everybody, and we're so excited to show it to you. So when we decided to build a house, my vision was to have wide open rooms, and I really thought it was important to have 3 sources of light in every room where we could. Obviously that doesn't work in every space, but we got close most areas. Welcome to the foyer. We are in the entry of my home. This is one of my favorite pieces. It's old Italian original marble. I bought it from my old boss. She has an antique dealer. She is an antique dealer in Dallas. One of my tips is to do coffee table books everywhere because it adds color, and I love the layering. I love the energy. Occasionally I read, but don't really have much time to. I decided to use Gracie in our entry, which is the beautiful tobacco colored wallpaper. I thought with all the light in the room, it was just felt like we brought the outside in. When people walk into my home, I want them to feel like they've got room to move. They don't feel cramped, crowded. I love that you can see the backyard from the entry. It feels just very open, friendly. It doesn't feel grand or fussy, it just feels homey. So this floor is a black and white marble. It's called pillowed. The edges are slightly rounded, so it's supposed to mimic a really old floor. When we built this home, we did not want anyone to think we built it. We wanted it to feel like it was old. So I think we nailed it because no one thinks it's new. The foyer is also a spot apparently where it's the best light for TikTok, because this is where my daughters and all of their friends TikTok from right here. So I'm the principal designer of Avery & Company, a full-service interior design shop in Texas. And when it came to building my own home, I worked with one of my favorite architects, and we collaborated, and the product is exactly what we wanted. This ceiling is lacquer. We did a blue lacquer. We feel like it's reflective of the sky, and I think it's just a special moment. Lacquer can be tricky on walls. I've got 4 kids, so I thought the ceiling was a safe spot. I think the ceiling is left out a lot of the time. I feel like people forget about the ceiling, and it's unfortunate because it really adds depth and a layer and interest. My design style within my home, I would say, is risky. I love pattern. I love mixing patterns. I love mixing geometry, color. I'm not afraid of color. I love plaid. I love florals. I love art. I love all different types of art. I love photography, oil paintings. We love collecting. Hey guys, this is my screened-in porch. It's off of our foyer. We just finished this space. It's a work in progress. We envision using this space in the winter. This is a phantom screen that usually stays down. We've got a pool beyond, so it's up for the summer. But I feel like we'll use this room when it's not 100 degrees in Dallas, which it currently is. So I decorated this space with a spot for friends to come over, hang out with 4 chairs. We can watch the kids in the pool. And then 2 lounge chaises to watch TV. So now we're outside by the pool. We landscaped this really wanting to hide the gate. We live in a neighborhood where you have to have an open backyard, open to the neighbors. So we wanted a little privacy. And then I'm a huge, huge, huge fan of ivy. In fact, I told my landscaper he'd get a huge bonus if I never see a brick. So we're now in my family room. I used a natural color grass cloth to make this room feel warm and neutral. I'm not afraid of color, so the rug is super colorful, lots of geometry, hides everything. Nice. These are my little chairs, and whenever we have a party, actually, whenever anyone uses this room, this is where everyone wants to sit. My dogs like to sit here and here, but the humans sit in the little chairs. And then also in this room, I did a seating area on one side. The TV is behind us, and then another full seating area, and they talk to each other, but you can be on one or the other. Unless there's like 12 people here, then we use both. But I love a swivel chair. You can sit and catch somebody cooking. On the occasion that I cook, my husband can swivel and talk to me. In this room, I'm a designer, so I love to take risks. So I mixed a lot of patterns, and if I made a mistake, it's my own fault, it's my own home. But it's really a great place for me to test my different ideas. And patterns are great. They hide a lot of sins. This isn't a museum. My kids eat everywhere. I tell them not to, but I can't, they don't listen to me. So I anchored the room. Both sides of the room have a linen velvet sofa that are kind of, I'd say like a cappuccino type color that is the neutral. Like the big piece of furniture is the neutral in the room, and then everything else just kind of plays on that. Kind of the one place where you can rest your eye would be that. And then we love an animal print on an ottoman. Again, put your feet up. You don't have to feel like you're formal. It's not going to show dirt unless you look up close. My rules, I would say I completely broke in this house because I hate when everything's a pair. I try not to have everything a pair, but I failed. There are lots of pairs. It just worked. But I also have singles. Not everything's a couple, but we've got some quads too. but we tried to mix it up. My biggest pet peeve is a lampshade that comes with a lamp. I have them all made. So, oh, and calling this a couch instead of a sofa. A beaver lives in a couch. That's a couch's den. A den is called a couch for a beaver. You didn't know that. And a sofa is the correct term. So my kitchen, you know, no one ever goes anywhere else in a house when you have a party. Everyone just loiters in your kitchen. So we wanted to have a big open room. And I used, at the time, my very, very favorite marble. It's prunella. And nobody wanted it. It was super cheap. Now everyone uses it. It's everywhere. I did not start the trend, but I certainly had it back when it was affordable. So I love my kitchen. I do not like a white kitchen. What I love about a stained cabinet is you're constantly opening cabinets in kitchens. And so, like, you know, if you use real paint, they chip. So staining a cabinet, really the wear and tear is the way to go with stain versus paint. So right now I'm going to take you to my very favorite part of the kitchen, the bar. I love a good teeny. It's always teeny time around here. And I was inspired. My collection is young, but I was recently on a work trip at the Connaught in London, one of my favorite hotels, and they have the most fabulous cocktail shaker collection. So I asked my husband for a shaker for my birthday, and so now I collect them, and for Christmas, my birthday, I get a different shaker. I like the penguin too. I think he's really cute. I don't really use them, but they all work. And this is actually from Restoration Hardware, vintage. They don't make anything like this anymore. Restoration Hardware, you should definitely start making things again like this. Way more fun. The process of building this house was long, and it was a labor of love. I love my builder. He was wonderful, but I'm not gonna lie, building a home is super stressful. Probably the closest my husband and I ever came to getting divorced. But in the end, we love it. Would I do it again? Maybe. My favorite part of our home is that everybody has a place to go hide from each other. I hide in my favorite room that is a little bit off the beaten path. I call it my lair, and we'll show you that later. So now we're in the lounge, which sounds so pompous, but we don't know what else to call it. So this room was an addition to our house that we've recently finished, because originally I didn't want a dining room, because a dining room is where Amazon boxes went to die in our old house. But then once we didn't have a dining room, we wanted a dining room. So I created this long banquette with 2 little tables for everyday life. But when we have big family dinners, these go into the garage, and I pull out a really long table, and we set up a long dining table that's temporary. So it's like a win-win. Probably my favorite piece of art in our entire house is this huge swimming pool. It was actually shot in the Ukraine, which is really thoughtful and sad right now because I hope it's still there. But I tried to peddle this to like basically every client of mine. No one would buy it. I loved it, loved it, loved it. It's from one of my favorite galleries in New York, and I finally bought it for myself. Originally, when I thought I would try to buy it for myself, I thought it'd be so beautiful in my entry, and it would feel like you're like going straight out into a swimming pool, but then it just almost feels like a window. We didn't want a window on this wall because it would be looking at the house next door, which is Side note, under construction if you hear anything. But I just thought it was beautiful in here and kind of feels like a window. And then my second favorite thing in this room are these Librillos. They're from the 1700s, and I bought them in Madrid, and that's really like my whole theme. Everything in this room had to go with green because these are kind of my favorite things probably in the house. If you don't know what a Librillo is, it is where they used to soak sausage back in the day in Spain. So there was a purpose, and they're super heavy. So we had to do some little tricking out of the wall. Our furniture is super comfortable. It's intentional. I have a design firm, as I told you, and when I find a chair somewhere that I love that's super comfortable, I buy it and then copy the proportions if I love the scale. So 2 of these chairs in this room, in the quad of chairs, are originals and 2 are copies. Can you tell which ones are real and which ones aren't? Those are real. These are fake. Not fake, new. But they're from the 50s. And I guess people were smaller then, or just liked sitting in smaller. I feel like people now want everything to be so large, so overscaled, so huge, which is great, wonderful sometimes, but this room didn't allow for that. And so they're still super cozy, super soft, but they're little. As you know, with art TVs, every man can now have famous art for, I think, $4.99 a month. And you can rotate it. It's like I brought the Met. I love a window treatment, but I didn't want this room to lose any light. So we went with these beautiful shears, and they're supposed to cross this fake little bracket. But they still allow privacy if you need it and a little bit of filtering. But again, everything still feels open, and I love the fabric. I wanted to use it somewhere. I have an 8-year-old little boy, and when he first came in this room, he called it Shinsei, which is a local sushi restaurant, because he felt like the little banquette and the tables felt like his favorite restaurant, which is really cute. And so he calls this coming into Shinsei. So it's interesting, the style of this house, we really went from the inside out. I wasn't as concerned with the exterior. The architecture was more function over form versus coming up with a beautiful home and then creating it around the look we wanted. We really built the house from the inside out. The rooms that we created were more important than the exterior, which is backwards, but that's more what I care about, the inside. So this is my favorite room. This is my lair. I have 4 kids and a husband. They are not allowed in this room. This is my room. Me and my dogs, Teddy and Tessa, they're allowed. They're just not allowed on the furniture, but that doesn't mean anything. I used one of my favorite fabrics by Michael Smith to do everything. The walls, the curtains, the sofa, mixed with, a few patterns, but it just feels so cozy. I love it. Originally I designed this room thinking that it was going to be a room where everyone hung out, and then I decided nobody was allowed in here. It's away from the rest of my house. It just works. You're looking out when you're sitting there. You can see everything. The feng shui is great because, your shell is protected, your tortoise. I have my little chairs, which I love in every room. My kids occasionally come in here and ask me questions and sit in a little chair. The Eames chair is super sentimental to me. I always wanted an Eames chair and never really had a reason to have one or to splurge on one. So when I found out I was having my first daughter, Margot, I needed a rocker, so I bought myself an Eames chair and I upholstered it in mint green to go in her nursery. And then it was my excuse to have one, so it's probably my most favorite piece of furniture. The lamps, I found these vases at a small little gallery in Palm Beach when I was on a girls' trip with all my favorite friends. We used to take all these girls' trips to my friend's parents' home, and the colors just were so fun and happy, and I wanted them to be seen more than when they were just vases, so I made them into lamps. So this photograph is by David Yarrow, one of my favorite photographers. I love mixing and having unexpected items in my homes and in my clients' homes. And I thought, such a feminine room, why not have a wolf coming into the room in a photo? And what's so cool about this, so the way that he captures these amazing pieces and these, like, he actually has at the end of the bar a live chicken that this wolf is stalking. So I guess you kind of hope that the wolf is going for the chicken and not the photographer, but it makes for a great, great story. I love everything he does. Well, so when I walk into this room, or when I let other people walk into this room occasionally, I want them to feel super cozy and warm and enveloped in pattern, and it just feels very, like, even though it's wild and crazy, for me it feels very soothing. I love it. I loved this fabric so much, it's everywhere. It's on the sectional, it's on the walls, it's on the window treatments. I'm really, really glad I like it because it was a lot of fabric. So this is more a private room in my house, and I feel like when you're not in the main public areas in a home, you can make it more personal. I have family photos in here, I have friends photos, more memorabilia, more things that just make me happy. Friends with, family friends skiing, I actually probably need to update all my frames, they're old, the images, but it just makes me happy seeing all my favorite people on the walls. And items I've collected, traveling, knickknacks. So here I've used Harmon hinge doors, which lead into my bedroom. We have them in a few other areas in the home, but you can't tell they're doors because they fold into the casing and just look like a beautiful opening. So come on back. So this is my bedroom that I share with my husband. I feel sort of sorry for him because he has to sleep in what I call like a doily of femininity, but he doesn't mind. I have my princess bed, which I love, with my Porto bedding. We're missing a sofa, which is usually in the window. I stole it for a show house I'm currently doing in Dallas. We quilted these chairs, which I think adds like a beautiful little layer, and it makes it more durable. And I'd be lying if I said we didn't always have books in the chairs. They're usually a good dog preventative measure. They don't work all the time, but my dogs have to be pretty desperate to want to sit on them. Another fun fact about this room is we used to have 2 dog beds that size, and when my children, when they were young, would come into our room, when they'd get scared at night, our dogs generally take up the sofa, which is not here right now, or get in bed, and so my poor children would bring their little pallets and sleep in the dog beds because my dogs will not sleep in the dog beds. I don't even know why we have them anymore. This room, my 2 very, very favorite colors in the world are plum and like pale blue. And this is my favorite wallpaper in the entire world. It's by Katie Ritter. And I just had to use it somewhere. And so really this room grew out of this wallpaper and the fact that the bedding from Porto had the exact same color that Katie used in this beautiful wallpaper. So it was meant to be. Originally, I just had the headboard, and then it just wasn't like enough cowbell, if you will. So I had to add the canopy. And actually, Robert loves the bed too. We think it's just cozy. You feel, my whole family loves it. We love laying in here and watching TV on the weekends. There's a TV over here. And then you can look outside and see the pool and the lacrosse paraphernalia beyond. So I love a lot of pillows, but I know people like hate having to put pillows on the floor or whatnot. We actually sleep on these pillows. We have 2 sets, so I leave these on at night. We actually sleep on. These are our actual pillows. They just have pretty cases on them. So I hate putting pillows at the end of a bed or moving pillows. I've got my little pillow rolled up in the middle that I sleep on so I don't get tangles in my hair or wrinkles. I don't know if it works, but that's what the package says. This is our mudroom. It's right off our kitchen, between our garage and where we come in and out. We have all these lovely lockers for all of my 4 children and all of their stuff. Lacrosse sticks, it's where, well actually it's usually not where their backpacks and shoes land, but it's where they're supposed to live. So this is Elizabeth Eakins. It's brand new. It's one of my favorite wallpapers. It's a grass cloth actually. And then I found this right behind you guys, this right above the dog food, the king and queen of the house. This fabulous piece of art that's so inspirational for my children, how to be a good loser. I feel like we all need to play fair. I thought that was cute. And then these light switches I love from Forbes and Lomax. They just sort of go away. A day in the life of my family is always changing. There's no typical chaos from the minute we wake up till the minute they go to bed. Everyone's moving different directions. We have 4 children, and I thought when they were little it was going to be when things were hard. Now everyone's grown up and doing a million different things at once, so it's crazy, but I love it. It's been so much fun with you guys. Bye, Homeworthy. Thank you for coming to see my home in Greenway Parks. I've got to run, got to go pick up a kid, drop him off, go back to the office.
Thanks for watching. For more Homeworthy content, be sure to like and subscribe.